It's time to grab the bull by the horns.
Yes, what's up? Welcome to Beer and Bullshit, the podcast. I'm your host, Ben Johnson. We are, if you're watching on YouTube, which is a thing now, you'll see I'm at a desk for some reason. I've got a setup. It's getting a little rogan-y. I'll admit it. I like the way this looks. I'm trying something new. If I start, it looks like I'm 2 steps away from talking about cold plunging. So let's be vigilant. Let's not let that happen, okay? This isn't going to be another podcast about toxic femininity and taking back your masculinity, even though it kind of looks like one right now. Cheers. It's Thirsty Thursday. There's no guest this week. We're going to keep it short and sweet. We're going to do some news. I've just opened Italian Pilsner, which is a collaboration between Powerhouse Brewery and London Brewing here in London, Ontario, Canada. I enthusiastically saw that there was a new local Italian Pilsner and bought a 12-pack. I think a 12-pack of Tall Boys is a lot for anything. Not just this beer, but that's a commitment. I'm going to have a sip of beer. It's a lot of the same beer. I realized I do like a little bit of variety. Still a very nice beer. Check it out if you can. First things first, for this show, heading off to the recording of the show tonight, I asked my wife, she was putting our son to bed, and I said, what should I talk about on tonight's show? And from our son's bed, where she was laying with him, she threw the cap from one of those pouches of applesauce into the garbage. So I said, what should I talk about on the show tonight? She shot it. It went right in the garbage, and she went, that. So I'm talking about that right now. A shout out to Kate, who has never once listened to this show. It was like, I would say maybe an 8-foot shot. So nice. Okay. We got a lot of news to talk about. I don't know. Not a lot of good news. Womp womp womp. But in brewery news, we noted on the show about 2 months ago that Long Slice Brewery, Long Slice, which is also known as the Aviary. Oh my Lanta. I haven't even finished my drink yet. 2 months ago, Long Slice Brewery and the Aviary Pub announced that they were seeking an owner, given not a lot of people have heard of that brand outside of Toronto, and it's a buyer's market for brewing equipment. Didn't have high hopes for that brewery, and lo and behold, they announced their closure yesterday. A little, maybe predictably. I mean, and as someone who has tried maybe one of their beers and doesn't live near their location, I'm going to offer you my live reaction to the news of their closure right now. Ready? Meh. It is sad news. It is, but I mean, today's day and age, there's a lot of breweries, and that's not one I went to, so I'm not surprised by anything anymore. I'm a little dead inside, so that one was kind of meh. But in other everything is terrible news, I'm working with graphics here. If you're listening at home, I'm trying things out. Okay, we've got visuals happening. I keep turning them on and off incorrectly. Oh, there we go. There's the one I wanted. In everything is terrible news, the LCBO announced, I think today, if you're listening on Thursday, it happened on a Wednesday, they'll be slapping a 4.4% increase to their cost of service levy for beer starting April 1. That's a cost applied to beer makers. They need more costs applied to them. That's what the government has decided. They looked at the craft beer landscape and said, you know what these guys need? More fucking fees. It's a cost applied to beer makers, and then obviously it's going to be passed on to us, the consumer. For some perspective, I got some numbers here. I got a piece of paper here. This is legit. It's not just a desk, a microphone. There's also a piece of paper. Okay, guys? The fee is currently set at 74.11 cents per liter. Okay, page 2 of my notes here, guys. Hang on just a second here. It's going to rise to 77.37 cents per liter in April. So that's about $9 on a 2.4 of Tall Boys. And if you think I'm looking for my Tall Boy,
6 Busch Light, 6 Bud Light, and I love them, Tall Boys.
we got to think about Dino. Dino loves the show.
Six Bush Light, six Bud Light, and I love them, Tall Boys.
So the case of that guy's Tall Boys is going to go up about $9. That's not nothing. That ain't nothing. This is definitely going to hurt craft breweries. When you think about how tariffs are going to fuck up the market, when you factor in aluminum coming from the United States, the Ontario craft brewers, they've been trying to work with old Dougie Ford to lower the rate of taxes they're paying. Instead, they're getting a new fee. They already pay the highest taxes of any craft beer in Canada. Ontario craft brewers pay the highest taxes of any craft brewers in Canada. I think it's like 8 times Alberta, and it ain't good. Scott Simmons, president of the OCB, he's been on this show. I asked him for his thoughts on the 4.4%, and I do have a quote from Scott.
Fuck this shit.
He's a man of few words, but I got to agree with them. Man, the rents are skyrocketing, especially in Toronto. Well, fuck, everywhere. Material costs are insane. I think the expanded retail environment is going to fuck craft breweries. They have so much more competition now, and the big guys are just going to bully them out. It is dark times, guys. Everything is kind of terrible. Hug your local brewer if they're still open. You might not know where to find them by the time you listen to this. Anyway. Italian Pilsner. I mean, we talked about this forever on this show. The Purge. It's coming. I know as dark as this is, and I know a lot of my listeners work in craft beer, but I think this will be good for consumers. I mean, it's terrible to say. The bad ones are going to disappear, which is not to say that all the ones that disappeared are bad, but like, if you don't have your shit together, you're not going to survive, and that's going to be good for people who like to drink beer. The prices fucking suck, and the OCB needs to obviously work harder. If they've been lobbying Dougie Ford, and his response was to... I actually don't think that this decision was him. I think it was the LCBO independent of political decision, but anyway, nothing as good is happening for craft beer, despite the OCB's best efforts. Again, Scott Simmons, he's been working with the OCB, and he is the OCB. He's been working the Ontario government. This is his comment today.
Fuck this shit.
This guy's, if you heard on the show, he's an eloquent guy, but he's clearly losing a little faith here. So Scotty too hottie, hang in there, buddy. I'm just trying to get my current graphic off there. There we go. No graphics. Speaking of Doug Ford, we got to do it. It wouldn't be a blur and bullshit without Dougie boy. If you really like shitty liquor, cheaply, get ready for the slight possibility that it might happen. You will recall the tepid response that Dougie Boy's Buck of Beer policy got. I think there was 3 breweries that took him up on the ability to sell their beer at a loss. He's a man of the people, that Dougie Boy. Doug's at it again, guys. The platform he's announced, he said that he'd be removing the minimum price restrictions on hard liquor. Yes! Big news for people who like to get blind drunk as cheaply as possible. If you're a liquor brand now, you can sell... There's no minimum cost. You can sell it as cheaply as you like it. I think this is going to be great for everybody. This is going to be good for the province. It's going to be good for alcohols. It's going to be good for alcoholics. For sure, really great liquor brands are all going to be lining up to sell their beer at the lowest possible price. I think this is a great thing for Ontario. It's actually, I'm reading my notes, guys, in case you can't see. This is a real quote I wanted to enjoy. Ford said that scrapping the minimum price of liquor would put more money back into people's pockets again. And that's like a tax break. Guys, buying cheap liquor, tax break, same thing. It's amazing. It's all part of Doug Ford's strategy to make Ontario like dystopian 1985 Hill Valley from the movie Back to the Future 2. That is his official strategy. There's no anagram for that. At least I couldn't figure it out. We've got gambling everywhere, legalized gambling commercials at every sporting event, gambling commercials on transit ads, Gambling is so cool. I'm so happy it's everywhere. We have got beer and convenience stores, and we now have bargain basement liquor, guys. It's pretty awesome time to be alive, and it's all costing us so much. It's costing so much money of our tax dollars to get to this shitty place in 1985 Hill Valley. It's costing so much. But thanks, the party of fiscal responsibility. Getting her done. Get her done, Dougie. Incidentally, there is a provincial election today. If you're listening to this on Thursday, it's election day. Whatever you're doing right now, just go vote. Okay? Keep listening. I'm not going to be much longer. By the time you get your boots on, we'll be done. You can listen to Mumford & Sons or Wilco. I think there's a new Wilco out with like a bunch of unreleased tracks. Listen to that on your way to vote. There's no really good options. There's no really good options. It's fine. One of the options, though, is a guy who wants to sell protected farming in wetland areas. Just saying. And paid the beer store hundreds of millions of dollars so that you could get Busch Light with your smokes, guys. That's one of the options. If those are the things you care about, the vote is clear. There is a clear choice. If you want the cheapest possible vodka and protected wetlands being cut down, vote with your heart. If you love
6
Busch Light, 6
Bud Light,
Tall Boys, you know who to vote for. But on the off chance that isn't what you care about, there's other parties. They're not good, but just go vote. Just go and vote. Okay? This is it. This is the show. It's short and sweet. I'm not even going to vamp. I had notes. I thought, you know what? I'll read some notes. I'll shoot the shit. There's no shooting this shit. It's hard by yourself. I don't know how Chris Schreier does this. The guy's a legend. I'm going to have another sip of beer. But I will end on a positive note. First of all, if you're watching on YouTube, smash that subscribe button. Hit that like button, okay? Look at this. This wood paneling isn't going to pay for itself, okay? I had to haul this desk into this room today for you. The least you can do is subscribe, okay? We're going to finish on some positive local news that I enjoy, okay? Anderson Craft Ales. I like him. Gavin's been on the show. He didn't say a lot. He's a quiet guy, but we like his beer. He's launching. It's just him. It's one guy over there. They are launching their Mix 6 of lagers March 7th, okay? If you know me, you know I like local and I like lagers, so I'm plugging this. There's a Czech Pilsner, a German Pilsner, an Italian Pilsner, and more. They did not pay me to mention this. I should note that. I was looking for some good local news, and I'm just hoping to build up enough, goodwill that they won't throw me out of there when I get wasted drunk and attend this event. There's a little party for the Mix 6 lagers, and I'm going. Okay? That's it. That's the show, guys. I know it's short and sweet. We will be back next week. We will be back with a guest. We may or may not have Chris Pellerin on the show. He did say, keep asking. So he does appreciate that I keep asking, but then he always says no. He's putting his kids' volleyball first. And honestly, it hurts me as much as it hurts you and the Pellheads out there. But we'll get him back on the show. We will have a guest. I won't be at a desk. I don't know where I'll be. Maybe next week I'll be in a studio. I won't be. I was trying to think of something to say. Anyway, thanks for listening. Beer and Bullshit. One of our shortest podcasts ever. Hope we'll have a good completion rate. Hopefully you guys listen to the whole thing. We'll see. I check my analytics religiously. Okay, bye. Have a good night. Okay, I'm just gonna...